Hello everyone. We will now begin our introduction to discrete random variables. We use the expression random variable to denote situations where the outcome of a random experiment is attributed a numerical value. The outcomes of the experience are potentially numerical by default. So in the case of time, weight, number of defects, number of individuals, these are numerical values, or through a transformation or a correspondence. In other words, the outcome may not be numerical, but an operation can be used to turn it into a number. If random variable x can take a finite or an infinite but countable set of values, then it is called a discrete random variable. The values that x can take is called its support, and it's denoted by s of x. So I guess we can consider the support somewhat like the domain of the random variables. For example, a soccer team will play 2 games this week and let x represent the number of points that they will accumulate. Let's note that the outcomes of the games are a random experiment whose sample space is formed of all possible combinations of wins, losses, or draws. In other words, the outcomes are not numerical until we convert each sample point into a numerical value, that is. For those who aren't familiar with soccer, a win will lead or will result in the team being attributed 3 points. A draw, so a tie, leads to 1 point, and a loss leads to no points at all. So as you can see, the outcome of the random experiment could be a win, a draw, a loss, and it is converted into a numerical value, in this case, points. To show the contrast between sample space and support, we would have, in this example, the sample space consists, as you can see, of all the outcomes that the team will have over the course of the 2 games. So potentially win-win, win-draw, win-loss, and so forth. The sample point, loss followed by defeat, is denoted by a Greek omega. Now, in contrast, we have the support, which consists in this case of 6 possible outcomes, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. These are all numerical values that are found by correspondences between the results of the games and a numerical value we're attributing to each outcome of the game. The entries of s of x are denoted by xi, so just Roman letters in this case. So here's the correspondence. For example, a team that would have won both games would have tallied 6 points, so 3 points per game won in this case. In this particular circumstance, 1 sample point has led to 1 outcome or 1 random variable's value. There are situations where, for instance, 2 of the random experiment's outcomes can lead to the same value that is attributed to x. So a win followed by a loss, or a loss followed by a win, will both result in 3 points being given to the team. So from the results, we can construct a probability distribution table. The probability distribution table for a random variable displays its support, so all possible values of x, as well as the probability of its different values. For convenience, we occasionally also include the cumulative probability distribution. So back to our example where a team has played 2 games in a given week, and we're going to let x represent the total number of points they will accumulate. Now, let's make the assumption that all games are played against equal caliber teams so that the outcome of the game could equally be a win, a loss, or a draw. So here, are the support in the case of the first column. So you see that the values that x can be attributed, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, that constitutes the support. I've integrated a column here with all of the different sample points that will generate the values of x that appear in the first column. So loss is the only way to accumulate 0 points, just like win-win is the only way to accumulate 6 points. And then we have all of the other outcomes that lead to either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 points. So based on the random experiments list, so based on the list of terms we found in omega earlier, we can find the probability of each of these outcomes, which appears in the third column, as well as the cumulative probability in the fourth column. According to the table that we have displayed earlier, the probability that a team will accumulate 2 points in a given week is 1 out of 9. This, of course, being because the only way to have 2 points is to have 2 draws, and that is only likely to happen 1 out of 9 times. The probability that the team will accumulate 2 or fewer points is obtained by adding the probabilities for x equals 0, 1, and 2, or by looking at the cumulative probability column, which actually shows that 4 out of 9 is the probability of this event occurring. Finally, the probability that a team will accumulate more than 2 points can be seen as the complement, so the opposite of having 2 or fewer points. So again, we can use the cumulative probability column and go by exclusion. So 1 minus the probability that x will be less or equal to 2. Random variables have properties and definitions, and in the case of a discrete random variable whose support is s, then 2 things will definitely occur. The probability of any value found in the support will be greater or equal to 0. And the sum of all the probabilities for the entries of the support, or for the elements in the support, has to be 1. The random variable doesn't have an average per se because the events are being predicted, or the values of the random variable are still in predictive mode. We're not going in the past to look at observations, which would be called descriptive stats. We are making predictions. So the expected value is defined as being the sum of all values of x in the support times their respective probabilities. You probably recognize this formula. It resembles the formula for average, a little bit different again because the expected value is based on probabilities rather than on observed values. So maybe just rule of thumb, you can think of the expected value as being the average you would predict will happen. The variance, which is a measure of dispersion from the expected value, is obtained by calculating the difference between the x values and the expected value. We square that difference to avoid cancellations in signs and multiply by the weight that this value of x represents, so its probability. This is a bit of a tedious formula, so I'd suggest you use this shortcut formula where instead of having to measure the difference between xi and e of x, you can actually perform the sum on the xi square times p of x equal xi and subtract the expected value squared at the end. So you can probably expand the formula that was presented in row number 2 and explain how it has become the formula in row number 3. Finally, the standard deviation for the random variable x is obtained by finding the root of the variance. So A lot of these numerical values have correspondences to the statistical descriptive stats that we did earlier. And again, the only difference is the chronology of the events here. In descriptive stats, we are looking back at observed values. So these values have taken place, whereas when we talk about random variables, the expected value, the variance, standard deviation are predictions we're making towards the future. For instance, a soccer team will play 2 games this week and let X represent the number of points they will accumulate. We're still assuming that all games are played with 2 same caliber teams. We're going to calculate the expected value, the variance, and the standard deviation. So by definition, the expected value is the sum of all the values of X in the support times their respective probabilities. So referring back to the numbers we saw earlier, we have 6 different possible values for X, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, which we've multiplied with their corresponding probability. All of this added up to 24 over 9 or 8 over 3. So essentially, we expect this team, again, we're looking to the future, we expect this team's tally of points for the upcoming week to be 8 over 3, so 2.66. Obviously, this will never happen because only integers can result. But again, this is a prediction, so it's a future predicted average. As for the variance, I'm going to use the second formula for variance that I suggested earlier, where we're going to multiply all the squared values of the support elements, and we're going to subtract by e of x squared at the end. So notice how we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, again, the values of x in the support, who have been squared and are multiplied by their respective probabilities. And at the end of that sum, we are subtracting the expected value squared to give 28 over 9 as a final result. Now these would be, in terms of units, points squared accumulated. So it's very hard to interpret what 28 over 9 represents. However, if we calculate the standard deviation, which means rooting this number, we will get 1.76. So putting everything together, we have an expected value of 2.66 and a standard deviation of 1.76. So this gives you an idea of like an interval of values that is the most likely to happen in terms of the team's accumulated points. So 2.66 plus or minus 1.76 generally gives the most feasible outcomes by the end of